Once upon an astral plane, in a realm far removed from the mundane concerns of mortals, there existed a place where the ordinary rules of existence were upended. This was Tunarath, the sprawling, eerie city built upon the celestial remains of a long-forgotten god. Imagine a metropolis perched on the bones of divinity, where the sky shimmered with the ethereal glow of stars and the air buzzed with the latent magic of ancient deities. It was in this surreal setting that our heroine, Versta, began her dark yet oddly amusing journey. Versta's childhood was anything but conventional. Born into a society that valued martial prowess over parental affection, Versta never knew her parents. Instead, she was raised in the harsh, unforgiving environment of the Githyanki cadres, military training groups that doubled as dysfunctional families. Her playmates were spectral knights wielding ghostly swords and former warlocks whose souls flickered like errant embers in the wind. Versta's days began with the rousing sound of war horns, signaling the start of another day of rigorous training. While most children her age learned to read and write, Versta mastered the art of telekinetic combat and swordplay. Picture a tiny Githyanki, barely able to lift a sword, trying to telekinetically fling it across the training grounds. More often than not, she ended up flattening some poor instructor. Versta's mischievous streak was already making itself known. From an early age, Versta displayed a knack for trouble that was both impressive and alarming. While other children practiced their telekinetic leaps and swordplay, Versta was busy summoning minor demons for tea parties. Her antics didn't go unnoticed, and soon enough she caught the attention of Vlakith, the Lich Queen herself, or rather, one of her many undead minions, which, while less glamorous, was still a noteworthy achievement. In her spare time, Versta enjoyed playing pranks on her fellow cadets and instructors. One of her favorite tricks involved enchanting the boots of her peers to dance uncontrollably. Watching a squad of elite Githyanki warriors break into an impromptu jig was a sight to behold. Even the sternest of instructors couldn't help but crack a smile, right before assigning Versta extra combat drills as punishment. But Versta never minded. She thrived on the chaos she created. Despite the grim surroundings, Versta's sense of humor flourished. She often entertained herself by playing pranks on her instructors, like replacing their spell components with particularly mischievous imps. Her favorite pastime, however, was her pet Mind Flayer skull, Squishy, which she'd animate to give her friends and enemies nightmares. As Versta grew, so did her magical prowess. She developed a particular affinity for the dark arts, much to the horror and fascination of her peers. While most cadets summoned mere fireballs, Versta was conjuring spectral hands to perform elaborate puppet shows. Her instructors, while impressed, often found themselves at the receiving end of her magical mischief. Versta's talent for dark humor and darker magic set her apart, earning her both admiration and wariness from those around her. Versta's early years were a blend of rigorous training, dark magic, and relentless mischief. Her unique upbringing in Tunarath, surrounded by the eerie remnants of a dead god, shaped her into the formidable and cunning warlock she would become. Even as a child, Versta's ambition was clear. She was destined for greatness, and she intended to achieve it with style, flair, and a generous dose of chaos. With her early years setting the stage for a lifetime of delightful malevolence, Versta's training years took her from mischievous novice to a formidable force of darkness. Under the stern guidance of Jamkras, a warlock with delusions of grandeur and a dramatic flair for the dark arts, Versta's talents flourished. Jamkras believed Vlakith was destined for godhood. a notion he often expressed in lengthy poetic soliloquies that Versta found both tedious and amusing. The training regimen was grueling, designed to weed out the weak and temper the strong into warriors of unparalleled might. Days were filled with endless combat drills, arcane studies, and the occasional bout of telekinetic tug-of-war. Versta quickly became known for her unorthodox methods and creative solutions to combat challenges. For instance, when tasked with defeating a particularly stubborn Githyanki illusion, she simply turned the illusion into a giant, sulking balloon animal. Problem solved. Versta's magical abilities grew exponentially under Zamkras's tutelage. He taught her to channel her power through her rage, bitterness, and a healthy dose of sarcasm. This unique approach led to spells that were not only devastating, but also laced with dark humor. Her fireballs came with a witty remark, and her curses often involved highly specific and embarrassing outcomes for her enemies. Zamkras, despite his flair for the dramatic, couldn't help but admire Versta's creativity. During this period, Versta made a name for herself by successfully leading a raid on a Githyanki enclave. The raid was intended to be a straightforward mission, but Versta turned it into a theatrical performance. She used her magic to create a symphony of chaos, with illusionary fireworks and shadow puppets reenacting great Githyanki victories. Her cadre executed the raid with brutal efficiency, while the Githyanki were left bewildered and demoralized. Versta's combination of strategy, cruelty, and showmanship made her a rising star in the eyes of her peers. But Versta's ambitions extended beyond mere raids and accolades. She yearned for power that could only be granted by a patron of immense darkness. In the deepest recesses of the astral plane, she sought out a fiendish entity, forming a pact that would grant her the power she craved. The terms were simple: her soul in exchange for unimaginable magical abilities, and the promise to always use them in the most creatively evil ways possible. Versta accepted with a grin, already plotting the chaos she would unleash with her newfound power. But Versta's ambitions extended beyond mere raids and accolades. She yearned for power that could only be granted by a patron of immense darkness. In the deepest recesses of the astral plane, she sought out a fiendish entity, forming a pact that would grant her the power she craved. The terms were simple: her soul in exchange for unimaginable magical abilities, and the promise to always use them in the most creatively evil ways possible. Versta accepted with a grin, already plotting the chaos she would unleash with her newfound power. Her newfound abilities were nothing short of spectacular. Versta could summon fiendish minions with a flick of her wrist, cast spells that warped reality itself, and inflict curses that would make even the bravest warrior think twice. She became a master of manipulation, using her dark magic to bend others to her will and orchestrate grand schemes of destruction and mayhem. Her favorite pastime was still playing pranks, but now they had a decidedly more sinister edge. As her power grew, so did her reputation. Tales of Versta's exploits spread across the multiverse, whispered in fearful tones by those who had witnessed her dark deeds. Yet, for all her malevolence, Versta never lost her sense of humor. She delighted in the chaos she created, often laughing maniacally as her enemies fell before her. Versta's training years were a testament to her relentless ambition and her unwavering commitment to achieving greatness through any means necessary. Fast forward to the present, and Versta is a force to be reckoned with. Her name strikes fear across the multiverse, her reputation as a formidable warlock cemented by her ruthless actions and wicked sense of humor. She's on a mission to destabilize the fragile truce between the Githyanki and the Red Dragons, stirring up trouble wherever she goes. Versta's current mission is as ambitious as it is dangerous. She's determined to shatter the uneasy alliance between the Githyanki and their dragon mounts, particularly the Red Dragons, who have grown tired of being treated like oversized horses. To accomplish this, Versta has been employing a variety of creative tactics, from sabotaging dragon eggs to spreading rumors that the dragons plan to overthrow their Githyanki riders. Her strategy is simple: cause as much chaos as possible and watch the alliance crumble like a poorly made soufflé. Aligning herself with radical factions like the Shasal Kohu, who dream of reuniting the Githyanki and Githzerai, Versta's ultimate goal is to overthrow Zetcher, the puppet ruler, and seize control of Tunarath. Her journey is fraught with peril and intrigue, but Versta thrives on danger and chaos. She's made a few frenemies along the way, including a particularly disgruntled red dragon named Flamebelly, who now follows her around, grumbling about how he was just one egg away from retirement. Versta's approach to rebellion is both methodical and theatrical. She's orchestrated a series of spectacularly destructive events, each designed to sow discord and erode the authority of Zetcherer. From inciting riots among the lower-ranking Githyanki to manipulating key political figures into scandalous liaisons, Versta's schemes are as intricate as they are entertaining. Her flair for drama ensures that each act of rebellion is accompanied by a suitably grandiose display of magic, because if you're going to overthrow a government, you might as well do it with style. Versta's influence has grown to the point where even the mention of her name sends shivers down the spines of her enemies. Yet, for all her malevolence, there's a certain charisma to her actions. She's not just a villain, she's a showman, turning every battle into a spectacle and every victory into a darkly humorous tale. Her followers are as loyal as they are terrified, knowing that while Versta's wrath is formidable, her approval can be equally rewarding, especially if you enjoy being entertained by the misfortunes of your foes. As Versta's story unfolds, we invite you to follow her adventures. Will she achieve her ambitions, or will she become another casualty in the bloody history of the Githyanki? Only time will tell. If you enjoyed this tale of dark humor and malevolence, make sure to hit that subscribe button, share the video with your friends, and most importantly, drop a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and theories. Until next time, this is Dungeon Master's Bag of Holding.